Hey, my beautiful bitches, it's me, Fiona St. James, and welcome to another episode of Fiona's Coffee Talks. And as always, I'd like to start off every day with a fresh, hot, black cup of coffee. Hold the cream! I'd love to. I don't have my coffee cup with me because it's the afternoon. It is 1:30 on July 16th. What day? Thursday, yes. Anywho, so I'm going to call today's topic, Bye Bye Birdie. It's actually, I don't know how much of a topic this is. It's more of a funny story. So, a few weeks ago when my parents got back from Ecuador, they had been away for a couple of months and, they have, their air conditioners are such that they stay permanently in the window because there's a sleeve there. So, anyway, right before they got back, I went to their place, check everything out, and for whatever reason, all three of their air conditioners, none of them were working. And I was like, oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I mean, they're not that old. They're only like 7 years old. But in this day and age, shit ain't built to last more than like 3 years, 3 to 5 years, if you're lucky. Think about it. Computers, after 3 years, dead. Cell phones, every year we upgrade to a new one. So, anywho, I'm calling this episode Bye Bye Birdie because when that Saturday, couple of days, the same day that they arrived, the people that we bought them from 7 years ago, they also repair air conditioners. So they came to look at them, and when they pulled out the air conditioner from my parents' bedroom, a fucking finch had created a bird's nest. So when they were taking the air conditioner out and taking it with them to repair it, the guy, I had stepped away for a minute, and then a few minutes later, the guy said to me, there's a nest in the window of your parents' bedroom. And I was like, wow. He was like, yeah, come see. And sure enough, the space, which is probably about that big, there was an actual nest, and there were three little baby finches that were not even fully developed. And I was like, shit. And you could see where they were the mother wasn't there at that point. I guess when he pulled it out, she flew away. And so I didn't think anything of it. And, we couldn't really do anything about it at that point. So I was just like, okay, we'll leave it there. I thought maybe if there weren't any babies in there, I could have just taken it and thrown it out. So I fast forward a couple of days later, that was a Saturday. That Tuesday, 2 weeks ago Tuesday, they were coming back and we decided to just buy new air conditioners. So that morning when I spoke to my parents at 11 in the morning, my mother tells me, oh my God, we've been up since 5 in the morning because we were hearing all this chirping and noise. And then suddenly, I guess, because when he pulled the air conditioner out, even though he put the cover on it, there was a space about that big, maybe about 2 inches big. And these fucking baby birds, by now they're pretty much fully developed, still can't fly, but a couple of days later, they were little baby finches. They had decided to fly the coop, as they say, and jumped out of the nest. And 2 of those little bitches came into the apartment. So then the mother bird, of course, wanting to try to get her children, went through that hole too. So they were awoken because they're hearing all this damn chirping, and because they hear this noise and they turn the light on, and you got this fucking bird flying all over the place, bumping into the mirror. So when I spoke to my mother at 11, she was like, oh my God, you don't know what we're going through. And I was like, fuck. I said, well, why don't you take the cover off, and then maybe the mother will see that her babies are in there, and she'll go to them. Oh, because I left this part out. When she was awoken at that hour, she saw 2 of the little baby birds were on the floor, and she picked them up, and through that little 2-inch opening was able to put them back in. But then I suggested take the cover off, and then maybe the mother will see them. So I got there at 12:30 that afternoon, and oh my Lord, the amount of chirping that was going on. And then by now, the mother bird, they have a 3-bedroom apartment, 3-bedroom condo. This fucking bird is flying everywhere. She was in the kitchen, the living room, all the bedrooms. She was just flying everywhere. Meanwhile, I'm in my parents' bedroom, and I'm like, where's all this fucking chirping coming from? And then when I look at the nest, there was only 1 little baby bird. And I could tell that the other 2 were in their bedroom, but you know, at this point it was like fucking the sound was coming from everywhere. It was like being at an IMAX theater, and it was kind of hard to even tell where it was coming from. So then I see the two little baby birds in the corner. Of course, I'm wearing my latex gloves, and the poor little things were so scared. Like, I felt so bad for them because they're like screaming for their mother. The mother's flying all over the fucking place, and I'm just trying to reconnect this family. So I was able to grab the little birds one at a time. So now I got the 3 little birds back in their nest. And as soon as I put them in there, one of them decides to, like, because they can't fly, decides to kind of like bounce around. And I saw that little bitch go to the ledge. And then like a second later, I didn't see him. And then I was traumatized because I said, oh my Lord, this bitch flew the coop. He just committed suicide. So I'm thinking this bird just suddenly jumped out of the window and obviously can't fly at this point. So I don't mind telling you, I spent about 2.5 fucking hours trying to save this family. See, and y'all bitches think I'm not nice. I care about animals and human beings most of the time. I'm chasing the fucking mother. I'm trying to get her to go into the bedroom. So I like, and at one point she's like on the floor, and I'm like trying to grab her. At one point she's in the kitchen, in all the spare bedrooms. So as I'm getting her out of each room, I'm closing that door because I thought, let me get her into the bedroom where her babies are at. But then these fucking babies, I would put them in the nest, and then like I went back and looked, and suddenly there was just one. Oh, and when I thought that the one had killed itself, it hadn't. It had jumped back into the fucking apartment, into the bedroom. Because then I see him like hidden in the corner, so I grabbed him. So now I'm trying to get the mother into the bedroom, and I'm fighting with these 3 little babies that refused to stay in their nest, that they kept wanting to jump into the bedroom apartment, of course, because they know their mother's in there, and they're trying to find the mother. And I was like, you bitches are driving me nuts. And I'm like talking to these babies, guys, stop, stay here, let me get your mother. I'm yelling at the mother, go get your fucking kids. Come on. So then finally, I get the mother in the bedroom, and I close that door, and she's flying around. I even had the ceiling fan shut off because I'm like, that's all I need is to have the ceiling fan on, decapitate this little bitch, and I'm going to have blood and feathers everywhere. And yet the babies are still trying to come in. So then at that point, I was like, you know what? I had them in there, and I put a towel there to like cover that slit that was there, and I put the facing of the air conditioner back on so that they would stay in there and not be able to jump back in. And I'm thinking, let me like try to grab the mother, and then I could like put her in there. But that was impossible, because at one point she even went into my father's closet. I had to pull everything out of the damn closet, and I was able to grab him. The bitch bit me and flew out my hands, and them little beaks are strong. I felt like I was on the set of a cross between Tippi Hedren in The Birds and Comedy of Errors. It was, but I refused to give up, because I was like, I even reached the point where I was like, I was ready to just like take the nest and go, bye-bye birdie, and throw that bitch out the window. But I couldn't do that. I think I'd still be mortified had I done that. So by now, it's 2.5 hours later, and I know that the air conditioner people are coming, and I'm like, I can't have no fucking bird's nest here when they go to put the air conditioner in. So I was like, okay, you know what? I took a shoebox, and I took those 3 little babies one at a time, put them in there with like the majority of the nest, and I'm like, these bitches got to go out. So I brought them downstairs. I put the box underneath the actual window that their nest was in, and then I took the rest of the nest and got rid of it as well. So now, but the mother is still in there, so in the bedroom. But at this point, I'm like, okay, at least now I could keep that open, and then maybe she'll see and recognize, oh, this is where my babies are. So I did that. I have it open. This fucking bird ends up on the top of the ceiling fan. So I'm standing on a chair trying to grab this bitch. And just as I go to grab her, she goes flying everywhere. And luckily, she landed in the open space. So she's sitting there with her back to me. And I'm like standing on this chair because I'm by the ceiling fan. And I thought, let me lunge at this bitch and maybe that'll scare her and she'll fly out. Excuse me. And that's exactly what happened. I lunged at her. She flew out the window and I was like, oh, thank God. So now the babies are gone. The mother is gone. But that wasn't the end of it. Because then, like, you know, I went downstairs and I wanted to, like, you know, somehow try to get the mother back with her kids. Because, I mean, I was like, they can't be orphan little finches. You know, I had told my parents, listen, in a minute, I'm going to bring this fucking nest inside and you now have 4 new pets. But, honey, they're elderly. They can't be taking care of no damn birds. They take care of each other. That's enough. So I did go down there. And then, like, late for the next couple of hours, I was even, like, going down there and checking on them. Because, you know, I was a concerned parent. And I am happy to report that a couple of hours later, someone had moved the box and put it elsewhere. The 3 babies were still in there, but when I went to the grocery store, which is right next to their apartment, I saw where the mother had reunited with her kids, and I was like, oh, thank God. But girl, I don't mind telling you, for 2.5 hours with no ceiling fans on, with no air conditioner, and it was like 90 degrees, and I'm wearing this fucking mask, and I'm chasing fucking birds, I thought I was going to have a heart attack. I was sweating profusely. I thought I was going to collapse. And I was like, I did not sign up for this. I mean, but when all is said and done, I'm glad that I did it. And I'm glad that I was able to save them because, you know, and I did it like just in the nick of time. Like I finished with all of that at about 3-ish. I went to the store and as soon as I got back to my parents' apartment, 5 minutes later, the air conditioner people were ringing the bell we ended up getting new air conditioners, by the way. It was just easier that way. So, but bye-bye, birdie bitches. I did my good deed for the day. I was able to unite a family and I was able to tell a funny story that almost gave me a heart attack. So, I don't even know what comment you could leave or like, you know, I can't imagine if anyone has had that same experience or something similar like that. Yeah, so if you have any fucked up, funny, like wildlife animal stories where suddenly you were forced to contend with that, let me know. And let's laugh a little. Honey, if you can't laugh at yourself and laugh at shit, what can you do, right? So, all right, thanks for tuning in. I will see you guys soon and stay safe, stay healthy. Until the next time, love you.